Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. There are certain reactive habits which often can be very problematic, and basically have been identified in all ancient contemplative and meditative traditions. These habits affect our happiness, our peace of mind, our compassion, even the clarity of our mind, and also are obstacles, barriers to any effective action. Ultimately, they affect our happiness adversely and are responsible for our being unhappy, dejected, depressed, cut off from the reality of life, cut off from the mainstream of compassion. I do not deny that these habits were originally not too bad. They evolved for important reasons. These habits became a part of our life later on and then degenerated. Originally, they were supposed to keep us safe from danger. But in our modern world, it's not possible to have those habits. Many of us find them useful in our modern world because they are able to find out some meaning. Nevertheless, in the reality, these habits are unsurmountable barriers and they need to be brushed aside. Now, what are these 5 hurdles to happiness? First, there is desire. Craving is not too bad. Desire is important, but desire for the pleasurable things of life, places, people, or things. If you don't have a desire, you don't grow. The problem is when the desire becomes an obsession. It leads to excessive cost over effectiveness, and in extremes leads to impairment of judgment. It becomes addictive. Look at the drug abuse, alcoholism. Originally, they were good desires, nothing wrong with that. Having a drink or two is not too bad. People would take cannabis to begin with to get over their pain and worry. But when it becomes addictive, when it becomes a habit, when it becomes an obsession, when it overtakes your logical part, then it's bad. Same is about the wealth. Being hopeful to wealth and acquire wealth is not too bad. But when you become King Midas, that everything you touch becomes gold, then it's not too good. And then it's bad to happiness. The second bad habit which you have got to overcome is aversion, anger, frustration, hostility. These are the emotions which come to us when we perceive the life circumstances should not be as they are. We are angry, we are frustrated, we are hostile. We get irritable, we get frustrated with everyday things. Again, nothing wrong with that. These attitudes help us overcome barriers. But when aversion becomes toxic, then it's a poison to our relationships and is fatal to happiness. And it can even harm our physical health. So both the mental health and the physical health can be impacted. Third, bad habit is mental fatigue. In life we say the so-and-so is burnt out. And that is basically the result of mental fatigue. the clouded, dull, sluggish state of mind that saps our concentration, that inhibits our ability to see others, to see the world and ourselves clearly. The myopic vision that we develop because of being mentally exhausted is bad. We are zoned out. In work life, it may be burnt out. It may be burnt out in family life. It may be burnt out in societal life. This zoning out is again not too bad. But when you regularly tune out of this world, regularly you are disjointed with this world which is around you, because it's unsatisfactory in one way or the other, then you pay an unnecessary cost. You've got to differentiate the difference between zoning out and burning out. Zoning out is a temporary lapse, a release from humdrum life. Burnt out is you become a leper. And nobody wants a leper. Let's be very clear. So, what to do? Go in for mindfulness to get away from the mental fatigue. But then I'll come to that later on. First, I'm identifying. So the first habit, first barrier is desire. The second barrier is aversion. The third is the mental fatigue. But is that the all? No. Restlessness. We are restless. And again, as I said, originally nothing wrong with that. If you're not restless, you're not alive. Being restless is a sign of activity. But the clouded, dull, sluggish state of mind that saps your concentration, that sort of restlessness is bad. When restlessness is a threat to negative outcomes in the future, when restlessness is a lack of abiding in the present, when restlessness is a sign of escapism, that is which is injurious to your happiness. Human beings have a great, powerful brain. And this brain has evolved over centuries, over eons, to help and efficiently anticipate threats to our environment. And when I say environment, I mean the people around me, the society around me, the work around me, the family, the relationships. That's what I mean. The societal environment, the work environment. And when anxiety becomes extreme, when it's excessive, it can block us in everyday life. Are you aware that in a 12-month period, approximately 25% of the US adults meet diagnostic criteria of anxiety disorder, and cost to Europe is about 41 billion euros. 41 billion euros is the cost of anxiety, restlessness. This is something. You are restless, you cannot be happy. Yes, restless to achieve something, great. Restless by itself, harmful. And the fifth habit or a barrier to happiness is doubt, uncertainty, not being sure. Uncertainty about our present, about our situation that exists today, and uncertainty about future blocks our ability to see the things forward clearly with flexibility, and our willingness to engage with challenges and demands in our daily life. People who suffer from doubt, from uncertainty, are chronically ill with self-doubt, much less confident. They lose all their confidence. and lower their self-esteem. And when the self-esteem is lowered, then you don't remain human being, because you cannot be until and unless you have self-esteem, until and unless you have compassion for yourself, until and unless you care for yourself, you cannot be happy. So this is the fifth barrier. So these are the 5 barriers to the happiness. By themselves, in a limited way, they are good. Where you are doubt about your doubt is something about your capability. If the doubt leads you to find a way to get out of a problem, it's welcome. But then many times the doubt about the future are meaningless. You don't know what the future is going to be. You can plan the future, but you cannot be 100% sure about the future. So why have any doubt? Would it happen? Would it not happen? What if it doesn't happen? Well, cross the bridge when you come to it. Don't make bridges in the air. Well, when this happens, I'll do that. Yes, that's planning is okay. But unnecessary, excessive, obsessive regard for the future. As a parent says, why, my son, our daughter, would she marry a good boy? Would my son be successful the way I am? You provide your children with the means. What happens would happen. Que sera, sera. Uncertainties are a part of life. Why be restless? Why suffer from mental fatigue? Or why have aversion? Similarly, the first thing, desire. Without desire, you cannot progress. But you want to be wealthy, but don't be King Midas. You see, excess of everything is bad. These habits originally were not too bad. They are good. And some of them are really required. But within boundaries. You have got to be careful where an attitude or an habit becomes obsessive. And when it's obsessive, then it's injurious to your health. As a matter of fact, we need a symbol, the skull and the crossbow, the danger. That danger sign has to be in our mind all the time whenever we do something. Well, we are crossing that limit. It's good to think of the future. But being restless is too bad. It's okay if you're tired mentally. But if you allow your mental fatigue to be a permanent feature, then you are on fringe of being a lunatic. Aversion is not too bad. You hate people, you hate things, you hate circumstances. But when hatred becomes real hatred, when you despise, when it becomes rather toxic, it's toxic to you, it's poisonous to you and to your happiness. So within certain parameters, it's human to have desire. It's human to be angry, to be frustrated. It's human to be tired mentally as it's human to be tired physically. It's human to feel restless. It's human to doubt. But if you are excessively doubt, then you are obsessed. If you are excessively restless, you are not sure of yourself. If you are suffering from too much of a sluggish mind, you are on the fringe of being lunatic. And excessive aversion, you are anti-human to that extent. And if you have excessive desire, you are obsessive compulsive candidate for mental asylum. So, as we say in life, everything is good or bad, looking at the need and the requirement. The moment it crosses the limit, it is poisonous to your nature and is suicidal to your happiness. So, contain these horses of 5 habits, keep them under control, and you will be happy. Let them control you, and you are a lost soul. Thank you.